This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact in our community. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Pixel Fire Marketing is a locally owned marketing firm that specializes in website design, creating social media ads, and engaging your business online. If your company could benefit from any of that, check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details today. Joining us, not in the Pyramid Contractor Studio, but at Pixel Fire Marketing today is Chad Splink. Chad, can you tell everybody who you are and exactly what you're doing in the Omaha area?
Sure. My name's Chad Splink. I'm the owner and president of Omaha Division Insurance. We offer Medicare-related coverage to seniors in Iowa and Nebraska. Been in business for 45 years now, going on this year. So that's what we specialize in, and we just try to bring some great customer service and knowledge to our customers, help them find the right plans that best suit their needs.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but just watching the insurance agency or insurance field, from outside in the 10,000-foot view, seems like a really confusing time right now, and I think a lot of people have questions. There's a change in the presidency office, and obviously a lot of policies are going to change there as well. Is this maybe the most confusing time for seniors because of the changes that are coming?
I feel like it's always a confusing time because it changes so often, and the government gets in there. They change the different types of plans, the coverage, what's
because it's changed in 4 to 8 years every 8 years anyway, right?
Changes every year.
Oh, wow,
There's new things that come. They take things away. Usually they don't announce those things, but most of the time they tweak things, and a lot of customers or potential customers just don't understand how their coverage works, what their options are, how to utilize benefits, and things of that nature. So,
can you talk about the differences between Medicare, Medicaid, and exactly who you guys are trying to help versus maybe not expanding outside of your portfolio?
Sure. So Medicaid is the state assistance program for people with limited income and limited assets that provides health insurance to those types of people. Medicare is for seniors or people who are retiring 65 and older or younger who qualify for disability. So there's a big difference. The Medicare is a federal government program that offers health insurance for those people who are eligible, and the Medicaid is a state assistance program.
And we want to make sure we let people know you guys are offering Medicare.
Correct. Yep.
When they're that close in name and they kind of do similar things, they provide insurance, is it often misconstrued by people contacting you about exactly what they're looking for?
Absolutely. And even Social Security. There's a lot of people who turn 62 and they're eligible for Social Security, and a lot of them think that they can also get Medicare, which they can't until they're 65 unless they're disabled, like I'd mentioned. But yeah, there's a lot of confusion within the market, what people think they can qualify, what people can't. And it's all really broken down by individual states and even into certain counties. So it can change from county to county, not necessarily state to state. So we just focus on Nebraska and Iowa. It's the market we know. It's the market we understand. We don't try to spread ourselves thin and do a bunch of states and do property and casualty and all this other type of stuff. It's just the Medicare senior health insurance market is what we know and what we specialize in.
Well, the Nebraska and Iowa dynamic is really interesting to me because there's a lot of things across the board that are legal or promoted in Iowa that aren't in Nebraska, and vice versa, right? How difficult is it or different is it for you to write a plan for somebody in Iowa versus Nebraska? Is it pretty apples to apples?
It's pretty similar in most situations. The premiums can be different, and you start getting into, the Medicare Advantage market. There are companies that are available in certain areas in Iowa, but they're not available in Nebraska, vice versa. And then they're really broken out into counties and stuff too. So it's a lot to know and understand, especially if you don't do this every day.
Sure. I don't want to get over my skis here just conversations I've been a part of with people that in my life that are old enough to qualify for Medicare. If somebody, what are the differences between Medicare Part A and Part B, and how do those kind of differentiate?
So Medicare Part A is your hospital insurance, and people who work long enough in the United States get a Part A for free. Medicare Part B, you have to pay for. Those are your doctor, your medical services, which most people do pay for that so that they can have that red, white, and blue Medicare card, which picks up 80% of their doctor and hospital bills. And then people can opt to purchase a Medicare supplement to cover the other 20%. And then there's also Medicare Part D, which is the prescription drug plan. There's the Medicare Part C, which is more of your Medicare Advantage type plans, which combines A, B, and D all into one plan. So there's a lot of options, and there's a lot of confusion when it comes to that type of stuff, especially with all the commercials and stuff, because, people see stuff on a commercial and they call us, well, what about this? Why can't I get this?
Because they're trying to get you to buy things, folks.
Exactly. They try to get you to call that number and to solicit or sell you something. So
when we talk about health savings plans, that seems to be a topic that is coming up more and more frequently. It feels like I'm getting a letter in the mail from somebody every day, or seeing a commercial about a new health savings account. How much is flex accounts or health savings accounts really affecting people in the 65 to older demographic?
It really doesn't affect them much at all, because they can't. In our market, the medical savings account, they can use that money in the savings account. They just can't contribute it to it anymore because they're not on a high deductible major medical plan under the age of 65. So the health savings account is a great plan for people who are eligible, who are under the age of 65 and have that high deductible plan. Flexible spendings account are another option. Those are more of a you use it or lose it type of plan. So you just have to use the funds in that account before the end of the year. But that really doesn't apply to Medicare. Again, if they have money in that health savings account, they can use it for deductibles and co-payments, or cleaning at the dental office, or prescription drug copay, or whatever else. But they can't contribute to it anymore when they're on the typical Medicare and a Medicare supplement plan G.
I want to talk about the conversation that you have with a new client. How often is that conversation being had before the age of 65? And how much do people really understand what they're asking when they're asking for Medicare?
Some people read up on it and understand it a bit and know to ask the right questions. For the most part, it's really confusing to people, and they just don't quite understand it
because they're not in the industry, right?
Exactly, and that's why they come to us for help. Our goal is to not just sell a policy. We want to educate our customers, make sure they understand the differences, let them choose what best suits their needs, and then thirdly, just kind of continue to provide that ongoing customer service for the rest of their life.
Listen, everybody's dealt with it. Somebody knows somebody's battled through it. One of the hot button topics that's always going to be around the medical field is cancer. You guys offer special services for people battling the disease. Can you kind of talk about that and what that process looks like?
Yeah, I mean, there's plans that help pay a lot of those out of pockets for cancer. I mean, a lot of people know that if you have good health and coverage, those doctor and hospital bills will more than likely be covered if you have cancer, because it's going to be medically necessary procedures or surgeries or whatever else. There's a lot of indirect expenses that come along with fighting that disease. My mom, unfortunately, battled it for over 2 years. It was us 3 kids who picked mom up in Minnesota, drove her to Rochester, to the Mayo Clinic, back home. We had hotel, food. Her chemo pills that she took were incredibly expensive. So it's just some of those out-of-pocket expenses that not only our customer deals with, but their kids and their whole family. It can be a very expensive disease. So we offer plans to help soften the blow and pay for a lot of those out-of-pocket expenses.
We're catching up with Chad Splink of Omaha Division Insurance Agency here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. and pyramid contractors. It's not just the health, right? It's vision and dental, and those are some things that the elderly community are often dealing with. 65 years of your teeth chewing through food can take its toll. Eyes tend to go bad with age. What are some of the vision and dental options that are being offered through the agency as well?
Sure. We have different options. If people just want dental coverage, we have different options for people who want dental, vision, maybe some hearing coverage. Hearing aids are another thing that get really expensive as people get older, along with eyeglasses. Medicare does pay for, your once a year routine eye exam, surgeries to the eyes like cataract removals and stuff like that. But glasses they don't pay for unless it's one time after a cataract surgery. And obviously, they don't pay for anything related to dental. Dental costs continue to go up, and that really can affect a senior on a limited budget, having to cough up, $2,000 for a crown or a root canal or whatever else. So we offer multiple plans that best suit their needs if they need coverage right away, or if it's just something to plan for down the road. We offer a lot of different companies and different options for those people.
I think a lot of people, just looking at your website, commercials on TV, see a husband and a wife, and they're both on Medicare, right? But that's not always often the case. Sometimes one of the spouses is older or younger, vice versa. How does that affect an insurance plan if somebody qualifies at 65, but somebody may be a little bit younger? And how does that help with deductibles and things like that?
Great question. If someone's younger, under the age of 65, and the spouse ages into 65, more than likely they're covered under an employer or group health insurance.
Usually.
So what we do is determine, all right, is it best to continue under that employer group health coverage, or would it be better or less expensive to look at Medicare and a Medicare supplement and drug plan? So we use just a spreadsheet, plug all those numbers in, and then show our potential customer, here, this is what it would look like if you kept your spouse on employer coverage. This is what it would look like if they were on, Medicare, and explain those differences between the two.
What is the most commonly asked question people have when they walk into your office for the first time?
I guess just what type of plan would be best for them. There's a lot of different options out there, a lot of different plans, and our agents are really good about taking in everything in regards to, their situation, their health. Do they travel? There's a lot of things that go into a good health insurance, and we want to make sure that plan that we help the customer find best suits their needs, because everybody's different and everybody wants different things. So we really do a good job at tailoring the coverage to what they want the most.
We're coming off one of the most unique times in human history with the pandemic and the COVID-19 virus, etc. How much did that change the way you guys had to do business? And is there anything you took out of the pandemic time and made portable to today?
I think as far as the health insurance itself goes, there were so many people that didn't go to the doctor. They didn't go get those surgeries or the things that they really needed. And they held off for a year or two. And then the kind of pendulum swang, and it came back, and people are running to the doctor, going to get those surgeries and everything that they needed. So we did see some increases in some of the Medicare supplements. Some of the changes in the Medicare Advantage plans are reflecting that. So I think that had a lot to do with the market in the last 5 years. But it's kind of evened out. We offer multiple carriers when it comes to Medicare supplements. So a lot of times we can, those rates go up, we can help them just get the same coverage and pull that premium down, put more money in their pocket for their day-to-day use.
Is there anything that you took from that time that you guys used from maybe a technology standpoint or a process standpoint that you didn't use prior that you still use today that you maybe learned and went, that worked well?
We've always done a lot of face-to-face. A lot of our customers like to see us, and we try to come around every couple years, review their coverage with them, update them on any changes, what's going on with their health coverage and Medicare itself. I would say with the pandemic, we've done a little bit more over the phone, instead of more as just all face to face. So some people really want to see us. Some people, they don't need to see us. They want to do a review over the phone, which, we have the option to do Zoom call, do over the phone, email, face-to-face, however they wish.
I want to talk about the technology world because obviously it feels like the medical world as a whole is kind of moving excuse me, in that direction. 65 and older, not usually the most technically savvy demographic. How often are you guys running into people with issues with maybe an app or things like that? And how often do you kind of deal in that realm?
It does become challenging because a lot of insurance companies and Medicare and everything just they want these consumers to do everything online,
Right?
and it's difficult for some people. Some people are great with it; they catch on quick, but others really have a challenge doing that stuff. It's kind of nice because our agents will step in and really do that stuff for them. Whether it's helping, file claims or paperwork or whatever. Our customers are lucky. They just send everything to us and we take care of it for them instead of them trying to file claims electronically or whatever else. So they do appreciate that.
When somebody is getting ready to turn 65, is usually retirement and things like that. How often in the process, like, where do you guys usually fall in the end of work portion of somebody's life?
The work never ends.
Sure.
The
end of full-time employment, I guess, is more what I was asking.
Well, I guess it's when people start getting close to 65, that's when we start getting some calls. We run some television ads. We get a lot of referrals because we have a lot of happy customers, and they send their friends or neighbors. No, and send their friends, neighbors to us. And we start, really start that process a good 6 months, sometimes a year before they turn 65, review their options. I've talked to people, consistently every year. They're still working, and we'll do a review. All right, is it good to go to Medicare now? Are you going to keep working full time? You're going to go to part time, and do that review. Who aren't even our customers yet, Maybe someday they will be, but we're there to help them make the best decision for themselves.
You guys have a ton of carriers that help you provide the insurance. Why is it such a big deal to have such a large portfolio and have so many different options to give to your clients?
It's good to have options just because each carrier, there's a lot of different plans there are a lot of different insurance companies that specialize in certain products versus other products. So we want to bring the best product available to our customers at the lowest premium available. So having a wide range of companies and different types of plans and products really benefit us and keep us very competitive in the market.
You kind of mentioned it, and we typed it in your bio, but you guys don't do car insurance or home insurance and things like that. You want to stick to what you know and try to be the best at it. Why is that such a big deal for you?
Just because the market continually changes so often, doing recertifications and exams and stuff like that, it's enough, and it keeps us busy just doing the Medicare senior health insurance related coverage. And we don't want to try to spread ourselves thin and do all of it and then not be good at what we know. So.
We've had several different insurance agencies come in here, a lot of home, a lot of auto, things like that, and they're seeing weather and the way the climate's changing really affect their ability to do business. You got some states that aren't even writing new policies because of the extreme weather we've seen over the last 5 years. Are you guys seeing a ripple down effect of things like that, or is that so apples to oranges it's not even a fair comparison?
No, it's not even a fair comparison because our market really doesn't get affected much at all. There's things that change and get added or taken away. But for the most part, it's been very consistent. For the 45 years we've been in business, it's been very, very consistent. I'd say.
Is that surprising to you?
That's
a long time for consistency.
It is. It does, for any business. A lot of them have their ups and downs.
I don't care if you're making pizzas. That's still a very long time for consistency.
It is. And I would say COVID probably had the biggest variance as far as changing our market a little bit, but we've gotten back to what we do, and probably created the biggest ripple. Other than that, it's been very consistent.
The name, Omaha Division Insurance Agency. Where does the division come from, and why is that an important part?
That was the name that the previous owner picked 45 years ago.
Sure.
And we just wanted to specialize in our local market here and not try to do insurance for everybody all over the country. So you just want a more of a local name to go along within the name. So,
and we're catching up with Chad Splink from Omaha Division Insurance Agency here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. I want to talk about you. Obviously, like you just mentioned, you did buy the company from a previous owner, but you're from Iowa. You've lived in Omaha for over 25 years. Why is it a big deal for you to stay local, do business locally?
I love Omaha. Omaha's a great small city.
Sure.
You know, I grew up in a small town in Iowa, went to college up in University of South Dakota, up in Vermilion, came down here after it, shortly after married my spouse at that time, Michelle, and we got into the insurance industry. I've never thought I was very good at sales at all. Never
Sure.
done a sales job, but I love to help people. And that made it easy to try to put someone in a better situation than when I found them.
And it's easier to do sales if you don't look at it as sales either. Especially in your line of work, somebody needs this coverage, and more times than not, they're looking for you because they need it, not because they want it. And I think that makes it a little bit easier as well, right?
Absolutely, and that's how we train our agents. We train them and teach them that pretend every person that you're sitting there with is your mom or dad or grandma and grandpa. Do what's best for them, and everything's
Is that difficult for some people?
Probably not for our agents, but probably, yeah.
I want to talk about the hiring process too, because for a lot of people, the most difficult thing about entrepreneurship is taking your hand off the wheel, bringing somebody else in, giving them access to your business, and asking them to do the job that you envisioned yourself doing. How difficult was that for you, and do you struggle with it today?
It was any new career or job is going to be challenging at first. There's a lot to know and a lot to learn. So when I started doing this over 20 years ago, it was difficult to learn everything. I think in today's world, it's even more challenging training a new agent because there's so many different companies and plans and stuff, more so than when I started. But as far as bringing in a new agent,
really quickly on that, is that good or bad for the industry in your opinion? The amounts of coverages and the different things that there are.
I mean, it can be good for the consumer.
Okay.
It can be challenging,
Headache for the agent,
especially for a new agent, because like I said, it's just a lot to know and learn and understand. We do a very, very rigorous training program when we hire a new agent. We know our system works, and as long as we
45 years is a long time to make sure something's working. Yeah.
It is. And as long as we can make sure that they're doing the right thing for our customers, they're successful, then we're successful as a company.
Do you have the ability when you buy it from somebody else that's around before you, but you've been able to take the baton and keep running with it? Do you have the ability to take a step back and look at the totality of what you guys have been doing as a business for as long as you've done it and have an appreciation for it? Or is it, hey, I'm in the thick of it right now, I can worry about that maybe if down the road when I sell it off or maybe retire myself?
Probably down the road.
Sure.
It's taking a step back from being actually in the field with our customers and now owning and running the company. It's been a challenge for sure. And it was a challenge that I was ready for and needed.
You mean business ownership isn't easy?
You're right. It's been great though. I mean, I do miss sitting down with some of my customers, and every once in a while I still try to do that a little bit. Because I enjoy it, and I love to see their smile on their face and give them a hug, and especially people that I've known for years and decades that we provided great coverage and great customer service, and they really appreciate that and respect us for that.
I want to talk about the time management portion of it that you just kind of alluded to, because I think everybody just assumes every business owner is Scrooge McDuck counting their gold coins in their vault, right? But your boss, you're a business owner, you're a dad, you're a husband. Probably have a few hobbies on the side. How do you balance everything, keep a schedule, and make sure that you're still successful?
It's a challenge. It is, and I try to keep work at work and keep home life at home life. Try not to intermingle them
that works out so often, right?
Right. I try to do my best, and my wife knows it as well. Because I don't want to take time away from my kids. They're growing up quick.
How old are they?
14 and 10.
Yeah, so they're at an age where they know you're not there.
Exactly. And so even if I'm on the phone or on my computer, they know that's time away from them. And I really try to put my phone down, put my laptop away, and really spend some quality time with them, because they grow up fast, and before they know it, they'll be out of the house.
Difficult for you to do?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's. I think we've asked 342 people. This only 2 people have said no. So it's a struggle for most business owners.
It is.
When we talk about the ideal client for you, what does that look like? Obviously, we know the age demographic, but like, what are some like if we're talking about the perfect person to sit down and have the conversation with, who are they?
I think it's just those people who are about to retire, getting close to retirement, or maybe they're not ready to retire, but they turn 65. Sitting down with those people and really look at apples to apples. What are the differences of continuing to do what they're doing right now, or exploring the Medicare option and stuff? Because a lot of people will be surprised. I mean, they think that my best option is to remain on employer group coverage, where a lot of times it's better coverage and cheaper to do Medicare type coverage and just leave the spouse or whoever else, as a single person on that major medical plan. So that would probably be the ideal client. That's and again, just helping them find the plan that best suits their needs.
What's the biggest hurdle facing the industry right now?
There's so many rules with probably compliance and stuff like that. What you can say, what you can't say, what you can put on a business card or commercial, what you can't, and it changes every year. You think you're doing the right thing and doing what's best for the customer, but
a fine.
Right. So, and luckily in 45 years, we've never had any action taken against us with the Department of Insurance, have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And again, as long as we always do what's best for the client, we'll be okay.
What's your favorite part about what you get to do?
Just putting someone in a better situation than when I found them, helping them save money. Maybe a lot of times we can help them save money and get better covered, not paying any more.
We call that winning twice, folks.
Exactly. So I love to help people, put them in a better situation that puts a smile on my face and, more importantly, their face.
Got the website scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. What's the best way people can get a hold of you and your team?
It's OmahaDivisionInsurance.com. They can always call us 402-334-7087, which what's great about us is we have someone there to answer the phone. You won't have to talk to a computer or push a bunch of
concept.
buttons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Over 15 5-star reviews on Google. Perfect rating. Chad, his team are fantastic. Get a hold of them today. Is there anything about Omaha Insurance Agency Division Agency that we haven't talked about yet?
No, not really. Just thanks for listening today, and I appreciate your time, Jimmy. And
Thanks for being here an hour early, buddy.
No problem.
That's Chad Splink. Get a hold of his team if you're reaching that age of 65 or have a disability and qualify for Medicare. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate this. Follow up on his website if you have any questions as well. We'll be back tomorrow talking to a new photographer here in the Omaha area, how she's kind of changing the industry up as well. Hopefully you can join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio.